Feng was just a normal spirit farmer who grew fruits and vegetables that boosted magic and strength in those who ate them. His life was simple, selling his crops and making a living. But everything changed when, on his way home, he witnessed a necromancer killing someone. When the necromancer noticed him, he tried to kill Feng too, but Feng managed to grab his farm tool and break free. Because of the loud commotion and fearing the Awakener Association, the necromancer decided to take over Feng's body and rushed into him. But to his shock, Feng carried a god system inside him. It killed the necromancer instantly, and merged Feng's power with his, turning Feng into a necromancer farmer. Awakened with a forbidden talent, Feng runs away from the scene to hide his powers and acted like a farmer to survive, but little did he know his life had already changed completely. It all starts 300 years after the Great Disaster. Magic spiraled out of control. The demon race descended from the skies and began a long, brutal war against humanity. After that war, the human population dropped sharply, and society collapsed. 10 powerful people awakened great magic and created huge protective barriers. These barriers held back the invading demons, letting humanity survive for a while. Humanity then entered a new age. When people reached adulthood, each person awakened a profession. The 10 original powerhouses turned their professions into inherited professions. Each of these inherited professions could exist in only one person at a time, becoming pillars for all of humanity. At Feishuan City, the sky was bright and clear. It was the year 335, April 1st, on the Cataclysm calendar. The profession awakening ceremony was about to start. A cart stopped in front of tall buildings, and someone called out that they had arrived. A young man named Feng stepped down from the vehicle and thanked his uncle Zhang. The large plaza was crowded. People gathered for the annual awakening test. Feng looked around in amazement, thinking, the annual awakening test truly lives up to its reputation. It's packed. When people reached adulthood, they took the awakening test. Professions had different ranks: N rank, R rank, S rank, SR rank, and UR rank. Higher rank professions had stronger combat power, and those who awakened rare professions could directly enter elite academies. Young people walked among tall statues of past profession holders, praying for good luck. Feng watched them quietly. A voice from the crowd prayed to one of the statues, asking the great berserker to bless them so they could awaken at least an SR rank profession. But another loud voice came from the crowd, telling the people in front to hurry because the speaker's test was coming soon. Nearby, Feng stood silently, watching the line. A girl prayed toward a statue, saying that she admired Lady Tianu since childhood, and asking her for a blessing to awaken the most noble inherited profession. Hearing this, others thought it was funny and wondered who would daydream like that in broad daylight. Seeing those students, Feng then turned to someone beside him and asked what the people were doing. The other person looked surprised and asked Feng if he didn't know. He explained that there was a rumor that this year's test would produce a new inherited profession holder. He added that there were currently 4 vacant inherited professions, so it was natural that everyone was praying hard. Hearing that, Feng felt that everyone's eagerness to advance seemed stronger than usual this year. To him, that meant business would be good. Suddenly, bright magical fireworks burst in the sky, signaling the start of the testing. Someone shouted for everyone to hurry, because the tests had officially begun. Inside the hall, the examiners read out the results one by one. They announced that Lin Hu awakened an R-rank profession at level 10 with 13 magic power. Then they reported Winsa as an N-rank profession at level 8 with 8 magic power. After that, they announced Gu Fai, who awakened an S-rank profession at level 34 with 55 magic power. And Gu Fai was accepted. A student with short hair was shocked to hear that Gu Fai actually had 55 magic power, and he wished he had that much magic power too. When Fen heard that, he immediately held up a bright red tomato and asked that short-haired man if he would like a tomato that could increase magic power. The short-haired man looked shocked at the offer. He asked in disbelief if it was really a tomato that increased magic power. Fen explained that he was a spirit plant doctor, and this tomato was a premium variety he had carefully cultivated. He also said that each tomato increased magic power by 5% within 5 minutes, and that each one cost only 5 gold coins. He then showed a bag filled with different spirit plants: tomatoes, long cucumbers, sweet potatoes, and small yellow beans. He said that he also had hunger sweet potatoes that kept someone full for a whole day, fat-burning cucumbers, and strongman beans that increased attack power by 10%. Hearing that, 2 people nearby whispered among themselves. One of them wondered if this was a scam because he had never heard of spirit plants like these. Another person questioned how something could increase magic power and help someone lose weight. The short-haired man holding the tomato told them to just buy one and try it for themselves. He said they could check the buff effect after eating it, and complained that he was tired of eating energy bars every day. Faum leaned forward with a confident smile. He announced that it was first come, first served. He said the quantity was limited, and once they were gone, they were gone. Then he added that the first customer could try one for free. Hearing that, the short-haired man stared at the tomato in his hand with a doubtful face. He looked tense and unsure. He then took a bite of the tomato. His face was still hesitant, but he bit into it anyway. Right after eating it, his expression changed completely. He clenched his fists with excitement as a bright glow of energy appeared behind him. He shouted that his magic power really increased and that his body felt lighter. A blonde young man nearby stared in shock and asked if he was seeing things because he knew that the spirit plant vegetables were developed by the Extraordinary Academy's agricultural department, and he heard they were usually supplied to SR rank professions. Femme told that man that this was a special promotion for the test convention, since everyone here had the potential to become academy students. Hearing that, the blonde man's eyes lit up, and he quickly asked Femme to wrap all of the vegetables for him. Hearing that, a small crowd gathered around to buy those vegetables and grew angry. One person complained loudly, saying he was here first. Another shouted that he wanted 10. Someone else praised the tomatoes, calling them extraordinary produce. Another excited person said that his magic power really did get a boost. Feng watched the scene with a small smile. He thought about his situation. He knew that even though he had only a farmer profession, ever since he maxed his level, all the vegetables and fruits he grew gave beneficial buffs. He admitted to himself that he used some marketing tactics, but the effects of his produce were real. After selling all of his vegetables, Feng sat alone in front of a certain shop. He was packing his bag quietly, and was about to leave, but suddenly noticed someone coming toward him. When he looked up, he saw that same blonde man from before approaching. Seeing that blonde man, Feng listed the things he sold. Chestnut pumpkin seeds for 5 gold. Flower rhino manure for 7 gold. Grape wine making sugar for 10 gold, and some magic power boosting potions worth 257 gold. After listing everything, he handed over 10 gold to that blonde man and said it was his payment. This blonde man was Feng's friend, who helped him sell his vegetables by boasting about them as a customer. As the blonde man accepted the coins, Feng complained that he didn't have enough money left to buy premium fertilizer for improving his fields. The blonde man thanked him, calling him Brother Feng. He said the spirit plants were very useful and asked why he didn't grow more. Hearing that, Feng got annoyed and hit the blonde man, asking if he thought growing spirit plants with such effects was easy. Later, the two of them walked together under a clear blue sky. The blonde man said it was a shame because Feng had high talent since childhood. Yet he was only, but before he could complete his words, Feng interrupted and told him to hurry home, saying Aunt Zhou was waiting for him. Then Fenstery walked alone under a bridge thinking about what that blonde man was saying. Although people called him a genius since childhood, he only awakened the N-rank farmer profession. He recalled that when he went to burn paper offerings for his deceased father who had been an archdruid, he was scared his father might jump out of the coffin. Thinking positively, he said that maybe this was karmic balance, since he had a herbalist mother and an archdruid father, yet he became a farmer. But in truth, he was satisfied with his peaceful life. He felt relieved that he did not have to go to the battlefield and die like his father, and that his mother would not have to worry. As he walked forward, he said that even if it was only for his mother's sake, he must take care of their family farm properly. But suddenly a single drop of water fell on his face. He looked up in confusion. He asked himself why it was raining when the sky was clear. But wind suddenly swirled around him, and a man came falling toward him from the sky. That man fell toward the street with a terrified face. Finge watched in shock as the man crashed into the ground. He panicked and wondered what was happening. He asked if the wall had broken, or if demons had invaded. But before he could understand anything, that fallen man lying on the ground suddenly woke up. He was surrounded by broken stone pieces. His bag and a lantern lay beside him. The injured man on the ground held a small device tightly. With panic in his eyes, he spoke quickly that the inherited profession holder, Necromancer Heishao, had betrayed them and was trying to transfer his profession inheritance to the demon race. That injured man thought to himself that he needed to notify someone as soon as possible. But before he could act, a huge dark claw wrapped in purple light appeared above him. The claw's power made the air shake as it moved toward him. The man looked terrified as the purple energy surrounded him. Feng, watching from a distance, was shocked, wondering what was happening. He could not believe that someone could transfer an inherited profession to the demon race. He questioned if that was even possible. Suddenly, a demon-like figure, whose whole body was covered in purple energy, appeared and crushed that injured man. His dark voice echoed in the purple haze. He called that injured man a fool, who saw everything but instead of running, he was rushing to his death. That demon-like figure grabbed his shoulder and thought that if he hadn't been injured by forbidden magic he would have escaped the city already. And once he transferred his inherited profession to the demon race, he would gain an immortal body. But since he had been delayed for so long, the academy had probably noticed his actions by now. But suddenly, the demon's eyes narrowed sharply, as it sensed something. At his side, Feng, while trembling, tried to sneak away from there slowly because he had stumbled into a murder scene. He thought that since the demon had not noticed him yet, he should quietly slip away. He began tiptoeing backward, trying to leave without making a sound. But before he could, that demon surrounded by swirling purple energy extended his hand toward Feng, asking if he had ever said Feng could leave. He grabbed Feng by the collar and lifted him into the air. The demon told Feng that the person who had just died was the famous Dean Ye of the Extraordinary Academy. He said the dean died pitifully and asked if he should use Feng's blood and bones as an offering to honor the dead dean. Feng gritted his teeth as purple energy wrapped around him. He thought that this twisted pervert demon's magic power was terrifying. He could not break free at all. Holding his breath, Feng tried to stay calm. He asked himself if there was anything he could use, anything that could drive the demon away. Suddenly, he noticed a small farming tool floating nearby, glowing with purple light. Feng extended his hand toward it, and used his Farm Tool Mastery Max Skills derivative skill Farm Tool Summoning. He reached out and grabbed the summoned tool. As he gripped it tightly, he spoke in a firm tone. He said that making an offering was the kind of thing one should do personally, not rely on someone else to perform. Saying that, he struck the demon's hand with full power, telling the demon that he would descend to the 18th level of hell. Femel's attack injured the demon, who let go of him. The demon looked shocked, saying this was impossible. He could not understand how the kid, who clearly had a simple farmer profession, managed to injure him. As Feng broke free from the demon's hand, he backed away. To fight back, he looked around and saw a fallen tool on the ground near that dead man. He reached forward quickly and grabbed the object, which looked like a lantern-type device glowing with purple light. Feng activated that lantern, and a huge blue beam of energy shot toward the demon. The beam struck the demon with overwhelming force. To defend, the demon gathered purple energy. A dark swirling sphere formed in front of him, with many purple tendrils stretching out like roots in the air. The impact caused a massive explosion of purple and blue energy. Dust filled the air. When the smoke began to clear, the demon stood again. His armor cracked, his expression filled with rage. But before that demon could attack, strange purple spinning shapes appeared in the air above Feng. Purple markings circled around him from every direction. The demon immediately recognized those shapes and, in frustration, said it was the array dancer's marking formation. That demon crouched low as purple energy swirled around him. He glared forward with sharp eyes and said that if he could not escape, he would simply possess Feng's body and leave. Purple energy wrapped around the demon's body as he charged at Feng with full speed, giving Feng no time to even react. Feng let out pained sounds as the demon entered his body. The swirling energy closed around his body, pulling him toward the dark figure. Inside Feng's mind, the demon smirked and told Feng that even though he had the lowest profession, his talent was still decent, and he should feel lucky to become his vessel. Hearing that, Feng laughed nervously. Blue energy circles moved around him as he spoke. He said that he had been training since childhood without skipping a single day, so if the demon wanted to take over his body, he would have to work a little harder. But the demon remained confident. His voice echoed again, saying that inferior was inferior, and his power was something Feng would never reach. And the next second, Feng fell to the ground. Purple chains of energy wrapped around him tightly. He looked down weakly, and said it seemed like luck was not on his side this time. His hand slowly reached out toward a knife lying just within his reach. As his fingers stretched toward it, Feng grabbed it and raised the sharp knife in his hand while dark purple energy surrounded him. His eyes were firm as he told the demon that they should both go down together happily. Hearing that, the demon became alarmed. He tried to stop Feng, asking what he was doing. But the next second, Feng stabbed himself hard in the stomach. Blood burst out as he held the knife tightly. He shouted that even if they both perished together, he would never give up his body. Feng's vision started to fade. In his thoughts he spoke to his father, saying he did not want to go over there and get scolded. His body fell to the ground, his eyes were closed, and purple energy wrapped tightly around him. But suddenly, a glowing golden light formed from his chest. The light grew brighter and brighter, spreading around him. That demon stared at the glow with fear and confusion. He wondered what the dazzling light was and asked himself if Feng's magic power was erupting. The next second, a blinding golden light burst open in the sky. The demon below looked up at it with shock as the golden beams spread out in all directions like glowing branches. Then that light wrapped around the demon's body. He stepped back in fear. His voice shook as he shouted that this could not be happening. He shouted that it was impossible. But more golden strands tightened around him. They spun faster and faster, forming a thick cocoon of golden lines around his entire body. The cocoon glowed even brighter, twisting with great force. In the next moment, a violent blast erupted from inside it. Purple power and shattered pieces flew out as something inside was destroyed. At that time, a purple system window appeared in the darkness. It displayed a message congratulating Fen, saying he had acquired a new talent, inherited profession, Necromancer. Then sometime later, Fen's eyes snapped open in shock while he was lying on the ground. He stared at his hands and his wounded clothes. With disbelief in his voice, he said he was still alive. Fen checked his body in confusion as he spoke. He said he could still control his own body and wondered if the demon trying to possess him had failed. He sat on the ground with a calm face and opened his system status window. A glowing purple screen floated in front of him, and he read the information on it. Fen looked at the glowing screen with a serious expression as he read the details of his new abilities. His name was written on it, along with his profession, Spirit Farm Master, Mutated/Unique. He looked at the screen with a calm and curious expression. Then he scrolled to another panel that showed the full list of his status information. His name was Lin Feng, profession Spirit Farm Master, which was mutated and unique. He was level 1 with 300 strength, 300 constitution, 100 agility, 110 magic power, 100 spirit, and 300 luck points. His skills were rapid land clearing, efficient planting, rapid harvesting, yield increase, farm tool mastery at max level, undead affinity, passive, transcendent growth, basic, undead summoning, basic, and soul extraction, passive. Feng stared at the screen closely.